Welcome everyone to the call today. I want to say welcome to another exciting um, call of the Force Kinging team. And just like we do always, we tend to help people to have an understanding of what the Force is in general. We do this so that we can assist people who have little or no knowledge of the crypto world to have easy access to the unending possibilities and benefits of being on a platform like the Force. Okay, just like we can see on my screen. On the previous Zooms, I did make an explanation that the Force is actually more than marketing. The force is far wider than the marketing. Okay. The force in itself is a complete cryptocurrency ecosystem. In other words, currently in the world, whatever you can think about cryptocurrency will be available in the force ecosystem. All right. In terms of trading, NFTs, NFT platforms, academy, marketing itself, and then the tools to ensure that the marketing is excellent for the participants of the project will also be available, and an academy that will help members of the projects to have sound and decent knowledge of cryptocurrency in the crypto world is going to be available. Think about that. That's actually a complete package of the developers of Force given to the people, because the sole purpose of a decentralized business is one thing, long term. And if cryptocurrency is real and you believe, for example, you know about Bitcoin, you believe in Bitcoin, then you should believe also in the Force, because the Force is far deeper than just marketing. We are going to be working on we are currently working on our own coin as an ecosystem, which is going to be launched later on. You see, so it's a project, it's a cryptocurrency project that will help a lot of people all over the world, and you don't want to be outside or miss such an opportunity to not just change your life, but to change the lives of every single person around you. Think about it. So I just wanted to bring to our minds that what we are into is a business for long term, all right? Because one of the things that brought me into platforms like this is the fact that I saw that the platform will last for many years. Okay, uh, guarantee people make uh, they have revenues, they have results, they make money from platforms like this, but not many of it are for long term. You see, but my decent and diligent study of platforms like this have made me understand that it is not just for the now, it is not just for the present, it is for the future. The future is one of the things that people always neglect when they are thinking about a platform. They always think about and get carried away by the present pleasures or the present hour benefits, which at the end of the day leads to the determinant or disabilities of that platform. But when a platform is working and it has visions, projections, milestones for 5 years, 10 years, and beyond, then you can bank on such platforms. Okay, not just for yourself, but for your children yet unborn. Very important. I like to ask us a question, and if possible, my co-attendees on the call today can also assist me. I have this desire to ask these questions because this is something that is so crucial in doing business online. The missing element is in this aspect I want to talk about. And that aspect is the word trust. Trust. The question is this: how do you build trust? How do you build trust? Do people just trust you, or trust is get to be built over time? For example, when you want to go into a platform or let's say a relationship, how do people get to know that you are trustworthy? Is it just immediately? Does it happen overnight? Or does it happen after a period of time? Just in case you want to give us an answer, you can just raise your hand and I will call you so you can speak. I appreciate if you have someone who can talk to us on the call on how do we build trust? How do we build trust within ourselves as a business, as a family, as co-partners, as co-business partners, and even as lifetime business partners? How do you know that what I'm doing in partnership with you is going to last? Does it happen immediately or almost immediately? Or does it take time to be developed? I'd like to hear from people with me on the call tonight. If you don't mind, you can raise your hand and I will call you. Please go ahead. All right, go. We have Lise that wants to speak to us. Go ahead and mute yourself, Lise, and let's hear you.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
I think that question for me, it happens after a period of time. Why I say that, it is because they want to know or associate themselves with you first by way of trying to find out how you do this business. And by doing that is getting them to webinars or to research with them and tell them where to get info about whatever it is that you're doing with them. And that's why it takes a while before you get someone to trust you on an online business. I think my take comes from experience, what I have gotten so far. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that. So the it all boils down to, like you said, experience. Okay, as we know, they always say that experience is the best teacher. So if we have experience in something, then we should know that when we want to do something, we should always have experience before we go ahead to do that particular thing. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Rose, you want to talk to us? You
No,
want to?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay. So I was saying that we with experience, it will be advisable, like Lee said, that we should get to trust somebody after a long period of time of engagement with that person. And she also said something that another way of getting to uh, be around people to trust them is when you are invited by those people to webinars and they tell you to even go ahead and research about a particular thing. You see, because there are people who just get you into their platforms without um, making you even understand what they are even doing. I mean, such actions should make you know that those people are just after your money. You see, so you can't get to trust those people. It's people who spend time. And you see, in business, one of my principles in doing business is the three T's. Okay, is trust. Number one comes first. Truth in the business. No lies, no not splitting hairs or telling people one thing and then saying something else another time. Okay, trust, truth, and transparency. Those are my three T's of business: trust, truth, and transparency. If you can be trustworthy based on the things that you have been saying, if you can be truthful in your words, if people can hold you ransom for what you say, if they can bank on your words, if they can take your word to the bank, if because of your word they can have a good night rest, and also when they look at the things you speak about and you show them, they know that it is 100% transparent, then business will go excellent for such a fellow online for as long as the person chooses to. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly how we run our teams. That's exactly how we run our team. We work with trust, we work with truth, we work with transparency. I'll say that again. We work with trust, we work with truth, we work with transparency. Everybody that has followed me personally for a long time now, they always know that whatever I say is what I mean, and whatever I mean is what I say. All right. And that's exactly the kind of mindset I want everybody on the team to have. If we can have the same mindset and we think together, our business will go from one level of grade to another. So trust is very important because this is the missing element I find in different businesses. People are not trustworthy. They don't deserve your trust. Even though you get to trust them, you find something that makes your trust in them goes lower from 100% to 80, 50, or even 20%, which is not good in business. You want to ensure that you are transparent at all points and at all times, and you can be accountable to your words. This is what I say is the missing element in many businesses. And if you can work on that, I guarantee. Now, why is this important? You know that we are going to be launching a new platform very soon. What is going to be the testimony that people will say about you when we get started? What we did testify, because what we're building is going to be for many years. Are they going to talk about you? Are they going to call your name and say she is a woman of her words or he is a man of his words? What is people going to say about you in the next few months, in the next few years? What they will say about you will be based on your actions, and your actions will be based on your character, and your character will be based on your mindset. So if your actions is going to be bad, you need to change your mindset, because it all boils down from your mindset. Your mindset is very important. So work on your mindset, train your mindset to always give out the right information, to always say something and remember you said those things, to say something and stand by what you say, because you'll be held accountable for what you say. All right. So I just wanted to talk a little about that. I believe in subsequent Zooms, I will be also asking questions about this, because we need to trust ourselves if we're going to do business. We need to. If we can't trust ourselves, then we can work together. We need to trust ourselves. I should be able to trust you, and you should be able to trust me. In reality, it's possible. But like I said, it's not something that will happen overnight. But with time, it will take place. Okay, I just wanted to give a little illustration of the excuse me. I just wanted to give a little illustration of the force I will be slow in explaining so that those who have not gotten the idea yet can do that during this call. So I'm just going to share my screen right away. So and then I will be rotating my screen as well. Okay. So share my screen. Yep. Can you see my screen? You see my
Yes, we
screen?
can.
So I just rotated my screen. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So good. So I will just ignore once. Good. All right. So I'm sure we are accustomed to this screen right now. For those of us who has been on our previous Zooms, so this is the new logo of our platform. It is now called the Force. The Force. Okay, and from what our leader has told us that we have to distance our name from the name Forsage because we want to be unique. All right, and a platform that is going to be here for many years would not like to tarnish their image because of the image of another platform has been tarnished. So we want to be unique and distinct in how we are known. So that's why we are going to be working with the Force. All right, and even our matrix is going to be completely Force matrix. So let me just go to the next screen. So like I said, we are going to be working with a new matrix. And the reason for this is because when we were in Forsage, one of the things I discovered when I looked at some other platforms, some other new smart contracts that were coming up, I discovered that a lot of them were using the same format of the X3 and the X4 matrix. In other words, before the Forsage was launched, there was no matrix like the way X3 and X4 was positioned. But because the code of the X3 and X4 was transparent on the blockchain, a lot of people started building and replicating such matrices. You see, so that's the reason why in creating a new matrix for the first system, Lado had to do something unique, something new. And that's what we can see in our screen here. We can see that Lado actually had a full interaction with X3 and X4. In other words, like what we saw before, X3 is not going to be separate from X4 anymore. It's going to be full-fledged interaction. And it's going to be called the Classic Matrix. Okay, this was released first, Forsage Classic. Okay, but it's going to be called Classic Matrix because I said that we're distancing ourselves from the term Forsage. So let's take a look at the classic matrix in details. So this is the classic matrix, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you can see the classic matrix for yourself. Like I told you that it's not going to be X3 and then X4. You can see how it's all lined up. We have level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Okay, so you see how it is all structured. So you can see the difference here that level 1 and level 2 has X4, level 3 has X3, level 4 and 5 has X4, level 6 has X3, and that's the way it goes down all to the 12 slots. So two slots for X4 and one slot for X3. That's the way 2 1 2 1 2 1 all the way down to level 12. And also keep in mind that on the new interface, we are still going to be working with BUSD, okay? But later on, we will transform our assets to the Force coin. That is the future of our platform, okay? Starting with the BUSD, and then we move to the Force coin. So look at the Force, look at the classic matrix very well. and get used to it, because this is what we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with this. All right. And okay, let me go over to the next screen. The Good. So this is, I'm sure we are accustomed to how the X4 is by now. This is how the X4 is. We have 6 spots on the X4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Are we together? Are we following? Hello? Are we following? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, King.
All right, thank you. So I was saying that on the X4, we have 4 spots, and the first 2 at the top here, we know that it goes to somebody ahead of you on the platform in the system, or your upline, somebody ahead of you. And of course, the where your income is on the 3 you see here. It's actually on the 4 of them, but this one serves as what? An auto reinvestment for you. So your income is actually on these 3, and that is about 300% income. All right, 300% income of your earnings on each cycle. All right. So, but mind you, uh, the auto upgrade also applies on this new interface. I will explain it when we get there. So let's go over to the X3, and we know the X3 is just 3 spots, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you get your 200% income from these 2. Okay, why this one serves as auto reinvest, and that income is sent to your upline. All right. So but on the first cycle, auto upgrade takes place on the first cycle. So keep that in mind. I'm coming over there to explain that very much. So then so this is the aspect that I want us to look at very well: the auto upgrade and then the auto reinvest, both for the 2 matrices. All right, go for the 2 matrices. You can see the X3 there. The X3 shows you that your current level of every level you are, the first cycle of any new level uh, works with the auto upgrade. All right, just like in the previous interface, after the first um, cycle, if you don't upgrade to the next slot, it gets to freeze, and you also might lose profit if you don't get to move in that new matrix. But on a new interface, there's actually a freedom of movement for you. So there's a button that will be given to everybody on their current slot to turn off the auto upgrade or to leave it like that. Auto upgrade takes place only in the first cycle of your current level. All right, only on the first cycle. By the time the first cycle is complete, it moves to the higher level. So that's why you see this arrow here and then this arrow here. So if the current level you are on is an X3 scheme, when you get your first income, this one stores in a special smart contract that you alone have access to. And then this one also stores in a special smart contract that you have your access to. So by the time the third partner comes in, which you know that it is for reinvest. So the income of the third partner goes to the upline. Why these 2 goes ahead, the first 2, this one goes to the higher partner. Why these 2, okay, goes ahead to open the next higher slot for you. Okay, that is only on the first cycle. Okay, so and the same thing also applies to the X4. So you can see the X4 here, right? You can see those 2 on with the arrow. Don't forget I explained that this is where your income is on the X4, and this is exactly where the auto upgrade will take place. So when you get to receive income on the first 2 years is stored in a special smart contract. All right. And then this one comes to you directly as your profit. And then by the time the last slot takes place, all right, the auto upgrade is done automatically. All right. And don't forget, the auto upgrade takes place on only the first cycle of every matrix, of every slot, pardon me. The auto upgrade takes place on only the first cycle of every level you are on. Okay, so by the second cycle and the subsequent cycle going forward, it all belongs to you. Are we following this? So it's very important. So moving right along, we'll go back to the next slide. So you can see that we have two prices. You can see here, we have the first price and we have the standard prices, okay? The first price is for the new launch that is happening very soon. Okay, the new launch that is happening very soon. And then you see the standard price is when the main launch takes place, because I told us on our previous Zoom that we have two launch that's going to be happening very soon. We have the pre-launch and we have the main launch, okay? And then the pre-launch is going to be having the prices you see here from the first slot all the way down to the 12 slots. And then the standard price will be carrying double of the prices of the first price. So that's why any income that somebody comes in with, all right, during the pre-launch is going to be like 50% of the amount of the standard price. Okay, so let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. For our team, we only work with the first 3 slots. Okay, and then with first 3 slots, we have the level 1 to level 3, which will, if you look at the amount of all those slots there, it will cost you 35 BUSD. So 35 BUSD is what you need to come in with. 35 BUSD is what you need to come in with the pre-launch on the pre-launch time. Just 1 minute, please. Because of the noise. Sorry, just a minute, please. Okay, sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Okay. All right. So I'll just go ahead and share my screen again. Okay. So I was on the standard price. Sorry. All right. So oh my God. Yep. Good. So I was saying that this is the amount we need to come in within the pre-launch. All right. And then this is what we need to come in during the main launch. So anybody who's joining the team will be joining with just the amount for the pre-launch. Okay, that's 35 BUSD. And you want to ensure that you take advantage of that before the main launch takes place, because by the time the main launch takes place, it is going to be double the amount of the pre-launch. So that means that anybody who is joining is going to be joining with 50% of the amount of the main launch. So you want to take advantage of that. But mind you that for the 35 BUSD, you will need at least a minimum of $5 to power the transaction. So in total, all you need is $40, 35 of BUSD, and then $5 of smart chain. Okay, then by the time the main launch takes place, it's going to be 70 BUSD and $10 of smart chain, which is like double of the amount of the pre-launch. So please keep that in mind. It's very important. So, and then this is okay, this is actually the aspect of auto upgrade. If you get to turn off auto upgrade, you get to pay 25% of the income of that particular level, and that amount is used to fund the current products that we're working on in our community. All right, so you don't want to ensure that you turn off the auto upgrade. You want to ensure, because in our team, we're going to be moving together. We'll be moving together. So we don't want to ensure that anybody is left behind. So this auto upgrade, or turning off the auto upgrade, it doesn't apply to us. Please keep that in mind. Very important, okay? So you can see what I explained to you, that the first members will be coming in with 50% marketing discount, okay, in the first line in the force. All right, and then in that aspect, the benefits also will be that they will gain the force coin. Okay, those who come in within that particular part will gain the force coin. Okay, that will be different from people who came in after the main launch had already taken place. So you want to keep this in mind. You want to ensure that you reach out to people to make them understand that what they need right now to get on our system, to get on our team and our new platform during the pre-launch is just 35 BUSD and $5 of smart chain, which is $40. And if everybody can come in with their 3 partners during that pre-launch, excellent, beautiful. Okay, because we are going to be seeing results, and by the time the main launch takes place, it's going to be even more easier to make people come in with that amount. So it's very important that you take advantage of this pre-launch price, okay, to reach out to people and make them see the possibility of working with you on the new launch. So it's very important. All right, I'm going to be stop sharing my screen right now. I hope you got to understand this very much for yourself. I'll be taking questions just in case anybody has a question. Let's feel free to ask questions. Do we have questions? Anyone with questions? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hi. There are people who are asking me, and I guess I'm not explaining properly what cycle means. Could you at least explain what it all means? Cycles?
Cycles.
Yes.
Did you say cycle?
Yes, when you say we need to spend that money to open up the next cycle.
No.
What does this all mean?
When you say cycle is when a particular level is the spots are completed. That's one cycle. For example, I explained that the X3 is 3 spots. So once that 3 spots is filled, it starts all over again. So one cycle has been completed. You understand? On the X4, the X4 has 6 spots. Once the 6 spots is completed, in other words, if all of them has taken spaces, or people have filled those spaces on your matrix, we say that the cycle is completed, and then the next cycle will begin. Okay.
Okay. How many cycles are there on a particular spot?
Cycles can be as many as possible, as long as the team is growing. It can be as many. There is no limit to cycles. Okay, but what I explained is that on the Zoom, what I explained is your first cycle of any new level, the income that comes into it, 200% of that income is meant for auto upgrades. By default, X3 is 200%. So you might, if you are on a level that has X3, you might not be getting anything in the first cycle, because that income will activate the next higher slot for you. But if you are on a level that has the X4, you know that the X4, is 300%. So it means that if that particular level you are there for the first time, in other words, you are going through the first cycle, you are only going to get 100% of that earnings. 200% of it will be for activating the next higher slot. That is for the first cycle. Any subsequent cycle after the first cycle, the whole 300% belongs to you. Do you understand?
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Good. So, I mean, it's very, very clear. I will explain more on subsequent Zooms. All right. The main thing is just the first cycle. The first cycle, the first cycle, the first cycle is very important. And if you have been following me very well on our Zooms, one of the rules of our team is that the first income of the first cycle, you don't get to touch it. You use it for upgrading to the next higher level. If you have been following me, that's what I've said. And I'm so excited that now that we're having a new launch of a new platform, Lado has included it as part of the update for auto upgrades. In other words, they don't want anybody to be stagnant. They want us to keep moving in business. All right. So that's exactly why this aspect of the auto upgrade will enable us to have a constant community development growth, because nobody is stagnant. Nobody is turning off the auto upgrades. By the time the slot is completing the first cycle, auto upgrades takes place immediately. Are you following now? So that's why
Yes, thank you.
everybody will be carried along. Okay, nobody's turning off auto upgrade. I don't think it's right for anybody to turn off the auto upgrades. I don't think it's right, because we are all working with one-time payments on a team. Well, after the one-time payment, as long as our team structure is growing, we will be generating the funds we need to take us through the slots, from the third slot we are till the 12th slot. I remember I told us that after your first payment for the first 3 slots, money is never going to come out of your pocket ever again. Money will never come out of your pocket ever again. All you have to do is to make sure or ensure that your structure is growing. In other words, your 3 partners are complete, and your 3 partners are having their own 3, and everybody under your structure is growing. If this happens and everybody follows the structure on our system, you will see the results. You will see the harvest of how people will have endless possibilities, endless testimonies from just one-time payment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is possible.
So
You
what?
don't need
Want to say
$500 to get started. You don't need $1,000 to get started. You don't need 2,000. You don't need 5,000. You don't need $10,000 to get started. All you need for the pre-launch is just $40. And after the main launch takes place, all you need is just $80. We're not moving ahead of the $80. We're not moving ahead of that. You see. So this is an opportunity for people to take advantage of, to build something that will last for many years and create a relationship that can never be deterred. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Force. Welcome to the Force. And we are going to build a massive team together. We are going to help people to see that what we do is actually what people need for this time. Because we can't keep looking at the government for everything. We have to come together as citizens of the world to make sure that we create a
We can't hear you, King. Are you there?
Countries like India, they don't depend on their government anymore. Why? Because they have systems, they have projects like the Force that is aiding them. Think about it. You can check on Google. The Indian population is over 1 billion. How do you think the government can care for over 1 billion people? It's not possible. And the world population is increasing every single day. So it's time for the world people to come together and agree to work together in a cooperative society. That's the only way that we can help ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only way. So think about what we do as the solution to earning legitimately online. Legitimately. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate the questions, and I know that you've learned something. Have we learned something tonight? Have we learned something today?
Yes, we have. I know I have.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you very much.
Yeah, it's very important. And when you learn something like this, you don't keep it to yourself. Tell it. Let other people learn from what you know. Invite them to the Zoom. Let them be a part of what we do. Share the recording, this recording that we have right now of this Zoom, share with them. Let them hear what you're hearing. And that's the only way that they can be encouraged to do what you're doing. And when they do what you do, they're going to have your style of results. Think about that. So that's exactly what we do. And we'll keep doing this, we'll be at it until people see that there is a right way to earn online legitimately. With the 3 T's of business that I give to you, I said number 1 is trust. Number 2 is truth. Number 3 is transparency. And we're going to be working with this on our team to bring light to the world of network marketing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening, and watch out for our coming Zoom as we bring you more updates about the Force. Take advantage of what we do, and your life will never remain the same again. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on my next Zoom. Bye for now.
Thank you, King. Good night.